A-bomb. The black A-bomb.
commissar, cause all the children know they were sliding down into the valley, they were slipping on the same snow. Hear the children, don't turn around, the commissar's in town, he's got the power and you're so weak and your frustration will not let you speak. La 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 la. Don't turn around, the commissar's in town. And if it talks to you, then you know why. The more you live, the faster you will die. Don't turn around, the commissar's in town. Don't turn around, the commissar's in town. This car, hey commissar. Don't turn around, the commissar's in town. Don't turn around, the commissar's in town.
You know what I realized? President Trump, he's already done more work in the last 4 days than Joe Biden did in the last 4 years. I mean, just take a look at Trump today, jumping feet first into helping Americans dealing with natural disasters, surveying the devastation in North Carolina and soon California. Trump has been nonstop since being sworn in. I was just talking about it with my producer. Every day it's something new, from signing all of these executive orders to freeing political prisoners from prison, like a pro-life protester, a Franciscan monk who was serving a 6-month sentence for simply praying outside of an abortion clinic. Can you imagine going to prison for years for praying? That's what the Biden regime did to Americans. Yet Democrats, they blatantly lied to all of us, and a lot of millions of Americans believe them, that Trump was this threat to democracy. Meantime, Joe Biden and his cohorts, they incentivized the largest invasion in modern history. But thank God, their plan to destroy this nation, it's backfired. Promises made, promises kept, folks. Illegals are already heading back home as deportation flights have already begun. The White House posting these photos of these 2 U.S. military aircrafts, each carrying 80 illegals headed to Guatemala. Trump also sending an additional 1,500 active duty troops to the Mexican border. There are reports that the number of U.S. troops could go as high as 10,000 if necessary to combat this national emergency. And that's exactly what this is. Reportedly, military planes, they're also on the ready to send all of these criminal illegals back as soon as possible to their home countries.
They'll take them back.
They're going to take them back.
They're all taking them back, yep. And if they don't, they'll be met very harshly economically. Okay, they'll all take them back. You know, Venezuela and other countries were not behaving very well with us during my administration, and within 24 hours, they were behaving very well. They'll all take them back.
ICE has their agents also hitting the ground, running across the nation in big cities like Boston. The Trump administration says so far ICE has arrested 538 illegal immigrant criminals, including a suspected terrorist, 4 members of the Tren de Aragua gang, and illegals convicted of sex crimes against minors. Borders are Tom Homan on CNN explaining how criminal illegals with convictions are top priority.
We would like to have access to the jail to arrest a criminal alien in the safety and security of a county jail, which is safer for the community, safer for the officers, and safer for the alien. But when you release a public safety threat out of a sanctuary jail and won't give us access to them, that means we got to go to the neighborhood and find him. And we will find him. But when we find him, he may be with others. Others that don't have a criminal conviction but are in the country illegally, they will be arrested too. because we're not going to strike. And this is a difference between the last administration and this administration. ICE is going to enforce the immigration law. There's nothing in the INA, the Immigration Nationality Act, says you got to be convicted of a serious crime in order to be removed from this country. So there's going to be more collateral arrests in sanctuary cities because they forced us to go in the community and find the guy we're looking for.
I mean, there's the U.S. code. If you don't believe Tom Homan, you come here illegally, you are subject to deportation. Get out of here. I mean, our previous president, think about this. He refused to follow the law and then instructed all of his regime cohorts to do the same, co-conspirators, right? And then they used the law as a weapon against anyone who went against the regime. And that's what this is. That's a regime. When you don't do what it says it wants you to do, this is what happens. You'll pay the consequences. And every single day, Texas Border Patrol, they're arresting drug traffickers, they're sex traffickers, you name it. They're doing the best they can. But did the mainstream media, have they been showing you any of this footage? All the kids in the desert and the process. I mean, it's out of control. How about any of these guys currently on the loose in our country, right? Do you see this on your local news? Do you see this on ABC, CBS? You don't see this anywhere. And these guys are on the loose because of sanctuary city laws. ICE agents weren't even allowed to go in. Cops aren't even allowed to ask what their immigration status is. Yet Democrat leaders like Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson, this guy right here, the Mr. Fancy, I spend a lot of money on makeup and nails and you name it, his facials. They continue to say they want to protect all illegals. Well, what about Americans, huh? Yet here's what some Chicago residents told Johnson right to his face about Trump's mass deportation plan.
Trump, Tom Homan, make an example out this Negro right here first. Please come here first, because you know what? We're going to help you. We want a forensic.
Ma'am, I would ask that you keep your, hold on a second, stop her time.
You told Trump you ain't gonna blink? Well, we ain't either. You ain't above the law. And where you gonna run to when Trump pours that Trump card out on you?
There's a 10-year prison sentence when you want to stand up here for those illegals.
You see, the very people Democrats claim to protect with all their liberal policies are the ones being hurt the most with this invasion, with the crime, the shelters into their neighborhoods. They're sick and tired of taking a back seat to criminal illegal aliens. That's why I don't want you to be fooled by the fake news, right? That will show you the first crying migrant, right? Or the mom saying, I was just working and look what Trump is doing to me. Oh, because what Trump is doing, he is trying to save this country and fulfill that mandate almost 75 million Americans gave him on Election Day.
He loves the Constitution. He fights for what's right. He hates the bad guys. He's a freedom warrior. He's your freedom warrior.
You know, it helps if I turn the microphone on. Yeah, I got it, tennis player. Welcome to the show, man. Welcome to the show, everybody. What a great diatribe I just had. But, yeah, I forgot to press the little button. So let me start over. You like the hat? Okay. This is going to be my opening statement hat. Got it at the Kid Rock concert here in Mobile, Alabama. So, you get what you vote for. You absolutely do. Now, people, let me remind you how important elected offices are, okay? The closer to you that you get with elective office, the more of an effect it can have on your life. Your mayor, the mayor of your city, your local sheriff, they have tremendous effects on your life. Your governor has more of an effect on your life when the shit hits the fan than the president of the United States. These are facts. And if the president of the United States has to step in with the federal government to help you the fuck out during a disaster, your governor may have fucked up. Unless your governor was wiped out. Now, I've seen President Trump go to Western North Carolina, where they're still digging out bodies, where people still are being housed in the cold. Trump's getting them into apartments fast. Donald Trump just cut foreign aid for 3 fucking months to divert money to where it needs to go. Wow. President Trump is getting it done. President Trump flew to Los Angeles, Southern California, right? And right now, all those people are realizing that voting Democrat was a big, big mistake. That piece of shit communist bitch mayor of LA, how's that working out? How's working out for Gavin Newsom? How's he working out, California? He's not. He's not. Donald Trump, President Trump, called him out. Called him the fuck out. I mean, it was beautiful, people. It was beautiful. I mean, wow. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It was fucking beautiful. Mayor starts talking her shit. And Trump lets her fucking know. Lets her fucking know that she had a lot of these powers to help the citizens of LA, to help Californians start putting their lives back together. But did she do it? No. 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 She wallowed in her bureaucracy. She flew to Ghana. To Ghana! When she knew those winds were picking up. Think about that. Think about that. Wow. I mean, hey, you know, it is what it is, right? No, it's not. It's fucking horrible. It's horrible. It is horrible what these people are willing to do to stick to a narrative. Okay? It's horrible. It's horrible. So, let me, I want to play this for you. I want to play this for you. It's out of Newsmax. And listen to President Trump just absolutely yank this bitch's fucking yank her heart out through her asshole. Okay? Just listen. This is great. This is great. A piece of shit politician getting called the fuck out. Called the fuck out for her incompetence. Fucking foaming at the mouth. I'm so mad about it. So, yeah, let me share the screen here. And of course, I'm using this under fair use. Fair use. Now, mind you, this bitch went to Cuba to suck on Castro's dick. Oh, yeah, big communist here. All right. Let me hit the play for you and get myself the hell out of here so you can watch and decide for yourself. I'll be right back.
But we are going to move as fast as we can, but we want you to be safe. And we want you to be back in your homes immediately.
But the people are willing to clean out their own debris. It doesn't
Yes,
cost
and
a
they
lot.
can.
You
and
should
they are
let them
able
do
to-
it because
No, no,
by the
they
time you
can do
hire
that.
contractors, it's
Right.
going to be 2 years.
If a family
People are willing to get a dumpster and do it themselves and clean it out.
and they can
There's
do
not that much left. It's all incinerated.
That's right.
And, you know, it's just going to take a long time if you do. You can do some of it, but a lot of these people, I know that guy right there that's talking. I know my people. You'll be on that thing tonight, throwing the stuff away, and your site it'll look perfect within 24 hours. And that's what he wants to do. He doesn't want to wait around for 7 months till the city hires some demolition contract
If
that's going to
individuals
charge him
want to build-
$25,000 to do his lot. I think you have emergency powers just like I do, and I'm exercising my emergency powers. You have to exercise them also.
I did exercise them.
Because I looked,
signed
I
an
mean, you have a
emergency
very powerful
declaration.
emergency power, and you
Yes.
can do everything within 24 hours.
Yes. And if individuals want to clear out their property, they can. Well, yes, but you know that you will be able to go back soon.
Mr. President.
We think within a week.
That's a long time, a week. I'll be honest. To me, everyone's standing in front of their house. They want to go to work, and they're not allowed to do it.
And the most important
week
thing
is
is
a
for
long
people to
time.
be safe.
They're safe. They're safe. You know what? They're not safe. They're not safe now. They're going to be much safer. A week is actually a long time, the way I look at it. I watched hundreds of people standing in front of their lots, and they're not allowed to go in. It's all burned. It's gone. It's done. Nothing's going to happen to it. It's not going to burn anymore. There's nothing to burn. There's almost nothing to burn. And they want to go in. The people are all over the place. They're standing, and I say, why aren't you going in? We're trying to get a permit. And the permit's going to take them, everybody said 18 months. You said 18 months. You said 18 months.
Last night.
And that was last night.
On that. Right.
Yesterday.
Mr. President, we're going to be together next week, and during the interim, many of us are involved in, and Tom McClintock, who you know has been an expert on this for years.
That's right.
We are going to be putting conditions on the money that do two things: require that it be done timely and affordable, and then secondly, that we protect those who will come afterwards. As we speak, there are 6,000 acres burning in my district on the Mexican border. There will be more fires until we include in any disaster relief items which will prevent it or at least mitigate it from happening again. So you're going to see us proposing both of those.
Like water. Little
We're
things
gonna
like
do
water.
that for
You
them.
know, the part.
Wow. Called her ass right the fuck out. Right out. I mean, during Biden's presidency, it was going to be 18 months. And now that bitch is saying, oh, it'll be a week. And our president's like, nah, that's too fucking long, bitch. You could have done it in a day. You got the legal authority to do shit in a day. You're the mayor. But you idiots elected that commie bitch. You did. You did. North Carolina, I got a lot of sympathy for. Good people finding bodies everywhere. Southern California, I feel sorry for the people, but damn it, you know what? You voted for it, you fucking got it. And you got all these fucking politicians like Adam Schiff, idiot senator now from California, old frog-eyed faggot. Oh, Mr. Trump, you shouldn't hold it against Americans that they didn't vote for you. Brr. Really? Well, how'd you Democrats treat North Carolina? How'd you Democrats treat Palestine, Ohio? But how did you treat Hawaii? You get what you vote for. You get what you vote for. Okay? I escaped California. Escaped, like 10 years ago. Rebuilt my whole life. I'm so fucking happy I got out. One of my best friends, old KP, still in California, and he helped me tremendously when I was flipping my mom's house. That motherfucker, he's like, Art, I should have got out. I should have got out when you asked me to. He should have sold his house years ago. His house has lost half its fucking value. Lives in the Central Valley of California. When President Trump talks about going down the interstate, I'll say freeway, going down I-5, you can see dead farmland all the way down. Dead trees, dead everything. Fertile farmland, too. All it needs is water. No. Got to save the Delta smelt, which is a bait fish. I grew up on that Delta. I learned how to swim in that Delta. I fished my whole life in that Delta. And I'm here to tell you, the smelt is a fucking bait fish. It's a bait fish you use to catch something else. Right? Looks like a freshwater mini sardine. I don't give a fuck about the smelt. Smelt's doing fine. Water is for the land, fresh water. Why the state of California would allow its land to fucking die so some fucking environmentalist, the Delta Keeper, can feel better about it. Some rich motherfucker with nothing better to do than get on his boat and doodle around the Delta to save the fucking smelt. Fuck that guy. I know him. I know him. When I was a kid, when I was in college, go to the Blackwater Cafe. That was the hangout. Down on Yosemite Street, Stockton, California. Not there anymore. I wish it was. This motherfucker would come in holier than thou. When I was editing the paper in college, and I'm here to tell you, he and I, we go back and forth. Now, well, he ain't going to admit I was right. But California is pumping so much water out of the San Joaquin Delta, it ain't just brackish, it's turning into salt water. All my old fishing spots in Stockton, California and around it are destroyed. Destroyed, garbage, trash, everywhere. Right? Can't fish there no more. Can't even eat them. But it's such a great environmental state. Democrats have been in charge of California. For the last 12 plus years, Schwarzenegger wasn't no better. Gay Davis was a joke. Schwarzenegger's Republican light. He does put his sausage in a Kennedy. So think about it. California hasn't had a Republican governor since the late, great Pete Wilson. He's still alive. And then when I was growing up, we had Governor Duke Majan, and California looked good. Good. Wonderful place to live when I was a kid. Stockton was a good place to grow up. But now, California installed the jungle primary, in the early 2000s? Turned it into a one-party state, and this is what you get. This is what you get. What about Palestine, Ohio? Huh? Old Booty Love, Buttigieg, former Secretary of Transportation, had the brilliant idea to blow up a fucking chemical train that derailed and poisoned all the fucking water. Right? Why don't they take some Delta Smelt and take it over there and see how it does? Right? There's going to be a big cancer cluster there. People are going to be fucked for generations. Palestine, Ohio should have been evacuated. Just like they did old Centralia because of that coal fire. Total Democrat-created fucking disaster. Just like the fires in Southern California right now. I was in the California Conservation Corps. I love the woods. I love streams. I love fishing. I joined the Conservation Corps to go see the redwoods and all that great stuff up in Northern California. Did a lot of fisheries work. Did a lot of stuff. Pete Wilson was governor. And things function well. You go to Northern California, all those trails you're hiking on, built by the Conservation Corps. You might even be hiking on a trail that I helped build. Maybe. California had a great environmental tradition. Great. My older cousin, convict. Hell, most of my family convicts on my maternal grandmother's side, right? One I grew up with like a brother, convict, greatest thing he ever did in his life was fight wildfires as a convict. Oh, yeah. Out there with a Pulaski and a McLeod fucking getting it done. He found a way to send Burls home to the family. We'd all say, bah. Beautiful. Beautiful. You get what you fucking vote for. You do. Now, President Trump's got to go to Palestine, Ohio. He does. Those people are so fucking forgotten. It's not even funny. President Trump needs to go to Hawaii. Investigations need to be launched. I want to know why Palestine, Ohio was treated like it was and is. I want to know what the fuck happened in Hawaii when they cut off the water. Why do Democrats cut off water when there is fire? Just a thought, a question. They did it in Hawaii too, while people were being burned out. And then Oprah's house was safe because she had her own people fighting the fire, right? But if the rich people know there's going to be a fire and the insurance company knows there's going to be a fire, why doesn't the state government know there's going to be a fire? Right now, California is crying for money, begging. Don't give those shitty politicians 1 red cent. Don't give any LA politician any money. Don't give any California politician any money. President Trump, you want to help people? Get the Army Corps of Engineers in there. Do it with federal resources and fuck California government, okay? Do it with federal resources. Help these people out. But don't give the money to these politicians that spend billions and billions and billions of dollars to help illegal aliens or to build some high-speed fucking rail to nowhere. Okay? The California Assembly thought it was more important to politically chastise and shield their shitty state policies from President Trump than it was to help the people of Southern California. You get what you vote for. Now, they're Americans, and they need our help. But the California state government cannot be trusted with money or allocating resources. The mayor of LA cannot be trusted with money to allocate it to the proper resources. Can't. So what President Trump needs to do, if FEMA was worth this shit, they're not. Use the Army Corps of Engineers, get in there, get shit cleaned up, get shit fucking safe, and help the people directly. The working people, fuck the rich, the working people, to reestablish their lives. There is a silver lining to every disaster. When places are wiped out, things do have to be rebuilt. What a great opportunity to teach Americans, young Americans, about building this country. Let's get them in apprenticeships. And let's start creating some more journeymen to build this country and quit using illegal aliens to do it. Hello, Willard Rogers. That's what we need to do. That's the way it is. We don't do it, we won't exist anymore as a country. The building trades are the backbone of every economy in this country. Backbone. That's what I'm telling you. And it's true. You hear these people bitching and whining and complaining about who's going to pick our crops if we throw all the illegals out. Well, who picked the crops before the illegals got here? My family done a lot of it. I've picked onions, picked cherries from the Central Valley. I think everybody should be out there at one point or another when they're young. You can make good money. Right? I'm down with the farm workers union if they're not fucking using illegals. Because the same argument the Democrats are making today to keep illegal aliens in this country is the same argument that slaveholders made before the Civil War. Well, who's going to pick our cotton? We need those slaves while they live in mansions. It ain't no different today like the company I used to work for. Right? Using all the illegal aliens as subcontractors, but they're all driving $80,000 trucks. When your vehicle's worth more than everything I own, fuck you. You got to know your history, people. You got to know your history. Why am I against illegal immigration? Why? Because it creates a new slave class. I'm sorry. We have the 13th Amendment. They don't know their rights. They don't know worker safety. They don't know shit. And like it or not, I'm here in Mobile. Most of them don't even know how to do their jobs when they come into the trades, especially my trade. They don't do no prep work. They ain't got no common sense. One of the reasons I lost my job is I got into an argument with the big man, old Dave. He said, "Your fault." I said, "I can't control all these motherfuckers. They're like kids. They do what they want or they hide on their fucking phones while I work." So yeah, fuck him and fuck them too. Don't worry, I got something in the works. But yeah, it is what it is. I'm going to repeat. People who support illegal aliens and illegal labor, and that's exactly what it is, are using the same fucking arguments that slave owners used to keep their slaves. Go back in your history and look it up. I mean, we got one motherfucker that was on here. And 4 years ago, he said, "It doesn't make a difference who the president is. It don't affect me." Yeah? Tell that to people in fucking Southern California. Tell that to the people in Palestine, Ohio. Tell that to the people in Western North Carolina. Tell it to them. Parts of Tennessee affected, parts of Georgia affected, parts of Florida affected. How you vote fucking matters. If you're voting based on the color of your skin, you're a fucking idiot. If you're voting based on where you put your wiener or where you let someone put a wiener, you're an idiot. If you're voting based on whether they're going to let you kill an unborn baby or not, you're an idiot. When the shit hits the fan, if there was true justice in the universe, your shit would be hit and nobody else. How about FEMA? FEMA not wanting to help Trump supporters. Oh, if you see a Trump sign, just walk by that house in North Carolina. Right? Oh, if you see that, just no, don't even bother. Right? Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. Let me type this up. People wonder why Trump won. Oh. Well. All right, I got this here. It's out of News Nation. I'm going to put it on. I want you to see this. See, I'm not necessarily doing this live stream for clicks and views and shit like that. I'm doing it just so I can scream about this shit. If you like what I'm doing, hey, give me some beer money. If you don't, go to another channel. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. So, this report is from a couple months ago. And yeah, let's check this shit out. Let's see. I mean, you don't want to believe me. You don't have to believe me. But you know what you do have to believe? You do have to believe your eyes. Okay, here we go. Hear that? Right. Okay. Oh, there was nothing concrete to back that up. Well, don't worry. Don't worry. And it's coming. Let me take myself out and let you all watch this, okay? Okay. Just saying. I mean, wow. This is just unbelievable. So, all right, I'm going to take myself out, and I'm going to go ahead and play this for you. And, yeah, I'll be right back.
It's a story that sort of got buried over the weekend with everything else going on. The Daily Wire broke it, reporting that at least 20 homes with Trump signs or flags were skipped from the end of October and into November due to the guidance. This happened in and around Lake Placid, Florida, where a tornado touched down in the days leading up to Milton making landfall, and which saw wind and flood damage following the storm. 20 families, at least, apparently didn't get the help they may have needed from the very agency whose job it is to help them when disaster strikes, because they displayed public indicators of their political affiliation. That is horrifying. Now, when I first heard about it and noticed there wasn't much media coverage of it in particular on a major website that I own called Mediaite, I reached out to my own site and pitched them and said, hey, why are we not covering this more? Particularly when FEMA confirmed the report, seemingly validating fears we saw take hold in North Carolina, for example, following incredible damage caused by flooding from Helene. People who lost everything were afraid or unwilling to ask for help because of distrust of FEMA. I'm reminded of a caller from my radio show on Sirius XM whose father-in-law was so distrustful of the feds, said he'd rather go without eating than get help from them.
And it's hard to even imagine it. I mean, he lost almost everything, and he's refusing all help from the federal government and complaining to us that he doesn't have food, that he doesn't have the stuff he needs, and yet he won't accept the help. What the hell are we supposed to do? We're not in a position to be able to fly across the country and help him. Yeah. There's people begging us to get him to accept help, and he won't do it. And I guarantee you, I'm not the only one. I guarantee you, I'm not the only one.
And that's exactly why we need to report on this stuff when it actually does happen. So we can also debunk the false rumors and false accusations, as we did in North Carolina. But let's also remember, FEMA got rid of this person pretty quickly. There's nothing at this point to indicate her guidance came from above. The supervisor, Marnie Washington, is also now under investigation by FEMA's Office of Special Counsel, the House Oversight Committee, and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis also launching their own investigations. By the way, kudos to the FEMA workers who blew the whistle. Look, you can have bad apples that can give an entire agency a bad name, but let's bring back Democratic Congressman Jared Moskowitz, a member of the House Oversight Committee, who also served as Director of Emergency Management under Governor DeSantis. Congressman, do you know anything more about how this happened?
No, we don't have any more details. Obviously, Oversight's going to launch an investigation. I support that investigation. As someone who was the former Director of Emergency Management in Florida, a Democrat in a Republican administration, one of the things that is sacrosanct in the emergency management industry is to stay nonpartisan, apartisan. Disasters don't affect Democrats or Republicans. They don't hit MAGA or progressives. They hit neighborhoods. They hit communities. They hit all people. And this sort of stuff feeds into the worst things that people think about government in general. And while we're entering the most partisan times, the most divided times, people have lost faith in their institutions. FEMA needs to stay out of that. They have to stay out of that. Watching colleagues of mine, using misinformation, talking about weather machines, trying to make FEMA partisan. We cannot allow disasters and disaster response to become partisan. We have to fight to keep it nonpartisan. So we should call it out when it happens on both sides to make sure that we're telling the truth. And it was important in North Carolina to do that. And it's just as important to do here. What happened in Florida is unacceptable. We could not have Americans not getting care based on their political affiliation.
Congressman, the supervisor, Washington, spoke to the Washington Examiner, actually, and she says she let her supervisors know specific streets we could not do because of hostile political encounters. And according to communications obtained by the Examiner, she was encouraged and supported in her decision to avoid certain streets to, quote, keep them safe. FEMA workers, quote, were having their lives threatened. And then the report goes on to say several of these hostile encounters are documented in the media, but the supervisor, Washington, is demanding FEMA turn over incident reports showing additional hostilities that resulted in her having to avoid certain streets. What do you make of that?
We'll have to see the evidence, okay, of that, if there were individual hostilities, and that should have been reported. But, you know, my guess is that, you know, one person may being hostile doesn't mean all of a sudden you generalize and start skipping houses. It also means that if they were having individual hostilities, they still should have figured out to make sure that that person was aware and got all of the benefits that they were due. There's a way to handle that. And so this instance, the way it went down, I applaud the administrator for firing the person immediately. That was the right decision. But now the FEMA needs to comply with the investigation and oversight, because we got to make sure that this doesn't now go into the Trump administration. We can't have whoever becomes the FEMA administrator there or low-level people there thinking that they're going to skip Democratic homes. We got to make sure we get rid of that at all levels.
Yep. All right, Congressman Moskowitz, thanks a lot for taking all the time with us tonight. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com.
Damn. Well, there it is. It happened. Old Biden's FEMA. Trump said, well, maybe we should just get rid of FEMA and let the states handle it. Unless that state's California. Don't let California handle shit no more. Till they get their heads out of their asses. Just President Trump, just do it yourself. Send in the Army Corps of Engineers. Get it done for California. Send them in. Help out North Carolina, Florida, Georgia, Tennessee. But now let's talk about the forgotten tragedy, right? The forgotten tragedy, and I'm willing to bet. Because Ohio voted Trump in 2020, that's why a lot of this is happening or not happening in Palestine, Ohio. East Palestine, right? So I got a nice video here. And I'm using this under fair use. Fair use, YouTube. Fair use, you motherfuckers. Fair use. Don't go deleting me, but I'm also on Facebook, A-Bomb and Farmer Mischief page, and we're doing it on X as well, in case we get banned here. Because I don't give a shit. I bet there's so many YouTube channels. I'd love to have some of the real big ones back. That's all right. I don't care how many people are watching. That doesn't matter to me. I'm here to educate. Here to help a motherfucker out. Now, I will pause this as we go. So let's hit play.
In many ways, East Palestine is your quintessentially American town, with a population of just under 5,000. This small town in eastern Ohio, nestled on the border with Pennsylvania, is a sleepy backwater framed by beautiful Appalachian mountains looming in the distance.
Look at that beautiful forest. Look at that.
Actually, I should probably say this was a sleepy backwater town, because on the 3rd of February 2023, everything changed. At 8:55 p.m. on a bitter winter evening, an explosion rocked East Palestine. A freight train measuring a staggering 2.8 kilometers or 1.76 miles in length, traveling from Madison, Illinois to Conway, Pennsylvania, had derailed, with several of the cars exploding close to the town. Video footage that evening showed towering walls of flame and thick black smoke billowing into the night sky. If hell existed, well, apparently it had just arrived in East Palestine.
Killing all
and yet,
that land.
things were about to get so much worse. It
Contaminating
quickly
all
became
that
clear
water.
that the train had been carrying a treasure trove of hazardous materials, including vinyl chloride, benzene residue, and butyl acrylate. The bad situation was about to degenerate into a truly catastrophic one that could cause untold harm to the residents of East Palestine and the environment around it. Over a year later, and there are still so many unanswered questions about the East Palestine train derailment, which has only helped to fan the flames of misinformation and conspiracy theories that erupted in its aftermath. Apocalyptic is a strong word, but it was one frequently used in the days after the crash to describe the scene just outside East Palestine. The train hurtling towards the town on the 3rd of February 2023 was a Norfolk Southern train 32N running on the Fort Wayne line. On board that evening was an engineer, a conductor, and a trainee conductor, along with a mountainous amount of hazardous materials that many of us have absolutely no idea about, but are reliably informed that these are not the kinds of chemicals that you want burning near a human population. Of the 151 cars that comprised this giant snake of a train, all but 9 were full, with 20 carrying hazardous substances that included chloroethylene, that's vinyl chloride, butyl acrylate, 2-ethylhexyl acrylate, ethyl glycol monobutyl ether, isobutylene combustible liquids, and benzene residue. And that was a hell of a sentence to get out. Now you're probably asking yourself, well, is this normal? And the answer is yes, it is. The United States frequently transports large quantities of materials such as these on freight trains as it represents the most economical way to do it. But this is an isolated incident, right? And the answer to that is rather shockingly no. In Anacortes in Washington, more than 11,350 liters or 3,000 gallons of diesel fuel were spilled just over a month after the East Palestine incident. In North Dakota, on the 18th of January 2022, 31 cars of a train carrying...
Now, mind you, Pete Buttigieg is the Secretary of Transportation, right? You would think that, the Biden appointee during the Biden administration, the token gay guy, the DEI hire, would say, "Hey, man, let's check. Let's see how we're doing things here." When that shit happened, right? Let's see how we're doing things here, and maybe change things up a little bit. But no, he didn't. But stolen elections have consequences. Here we go.
Hazardous materials derailed, spilling petroleum used to make asphalt. And in Minnesota, just 2 months after East Palestine, a train carrying ethanol derailed and caught fire, prompting an evacuation for residents. With investigations still ongoing.
Again in Minnesota. Now, mind you, these federal investigations, et cetera, they're going to take forever because the deep state has no benefit to the truth of their incompetence coming out. They don't. Why don't we know more about this shit now? We should. But no. Hit play.
It's difficult to make a firm conclusion about the crash in East Palestine, but there are a few facts that point to one or a series of mechanical failures along the way. First up, this train had apparently had some kind of logged mechanical failure in the lead up to the crash. The precise nature of it and whether anything was done about it remains a part of the investigation. Then we have various eyewitness statements from around an hour.
Hold on. I hope part of the investigations include how much money the railroad companies gave certain politicians. Okay? Because I'm here to tell you, if you follow the money, you always get to the reason. Let's hit play.
Hour before the crash that stated that sparks were clearly visible coming from at least one axle on the train. Security footage from Salem, 32 kilometers or 20 miles northwest of East Palestine, and New Waterford, Ohio, 6 kilometers or 4 miles northwest of East Palestine, both showed flames coming from beneath one of the train's cars as it passed. Just minutes before the derailment, the crew on board received an alarm from a wayside defect detector indicating a mechanical problem. The emergency brake was quickly thrown, but it was too late. Shortly before 9 p.m., the train derailed, and 51 of the cars were pulled from the traffic, ending up in a pile of tangled metal. Shortly thereafter, the first explosion ruptured the air, igniting a blaze that would burn for days. Of the 20 cars containing toxic materials, 11 of them had derailed, some now on fire and seeping their poison into the atmosphere. And remember, this was not in an isolated location. This train track runs straight through East Palestine, and it was a miracle that the derailment occurred just outside the town and not in its center. However, as flames continued to grow and black smoke quickly covered the sky, the residents of East Palestine knew that their nightmare was only just beginning. As you might imagine, with the events of such magnitude, the emergency response that night was immense. Responders from nearly 70 emergency agencies from Ohio, West Virginia, and Pennsylvania poured toward East Palestine, and the city's mayor, Trent Conaway, quickly declared a state of emergency. However, emergency services were severely hampered by the scale of the disaster. Firefighters, police, and hazardous materials teams converged on the site, but faced the dual challenge of trying to contain the fire while also preventing the spread of toxic gases. The complexity and danger of the chemicals involved required specialized knowledge and equipment, stretching local resources to their limits. This was not a fire for your local small-town fire department. The inferno raged out of control throughout the night, and when dawn broke, it became obvious that pollutants of some kind were leaking into the two creeks that pass near East Palestine, Leslie Run and Sulphur Run, the second of which runs under several homes. The local authorities at the scene installed booms and underflow dams to try and separate the floating pollutants, but how successful this was remains to be determined. Late the previous day, the EPA had begun monitoring air pollution, focusing on butyl acrylate, one of the chemicals carried. It's generally considered that humans can smell the chemical at a lower point than the screening level, and as the train continued to burn...
I want to know, have you made this mistake with your holster? And by mistake, I mean, did you get a holster?
Sorry about the commercial, everybody, but you know what, man? I ain't gonna pay for it. I ain't gonna pay YouTube till they give me all my channels back. So let's get back to the story, okay? Back to the story. So hopefully Vice President, wow. Hopefully our new vice president will get this shit done, since he's from Ohio. Vice President Vance. So let's, oh, no, wrong one. Okay, let's get back to it. Let's get back to it. Sorry about the commercial. Please pay attention. This is important. This is real important.
Was billowing up into the air. Butyl acrylate has a recommended exposure limit of 10 parts per million, that's 55 milligrams per cubic meter. Anything above that, and people may start experiencing irritation to the eyes, skin, and respiratory tract. If this liquid is swallowed, it may result in chemical pneumonitis, which causes inflation of the lungs or breathing difficulties. In short, this is not the kind of substance that you want floating around near a town. By the 5th of February, the situation was further deteriorating. The focus had now shifted to the 5 train cars carrying vinyl chloride, another nasty chemical that can irritate the eyes, mucous membranes, and respiratory tract. Chronic exposure can cause permanent liver injury and liver cancer, neurological, behavioral symptoms, and changes to the skin and bones of the hand. Like I said, it's another nasty one. While these 5 cars had remained intact after the derailment and hadn't yet caught fire, the relief valve on one of the cars had malfunctioned. This was the cue for the Ohio National Guard to be activated in what Ohio Governor Mike DeWine called a matter of life and death. Initial evacuation orders had already been put in place for the residents of East Palestine, but these developments meant a mandatory evacuation order for all residents within a 1.6 by 3.2 kilometer or 1 by 2 mile area. Local authorities then decided to carry out a controlled release and burn off the 5 vinyl chloride tanks. This involved small charges used to breach the cars, creating a small hole that allowed the vinyl chloride to flow out into a nearby trench where it was set on fire. It sounds very risky, especially considering what we just went through about the effects of vinyl chloride on the human body, but this was deemed the best bad idea at the time. The burn caused thick black clouds to billow up from the scene, releasing phosgene and hydrogen chloride into the air. Officially, air quality remained acceptable, but residents in nearby Mahoning and Trumbull counties reported strong chemical smells after the burn, while residents of Youngstown and the area around it were advised to stay indoors. With the controlled burns underway, the authorities knew that this was make or break. Either an environmental disaster was about to unfold, or they would escape the situation by the skin of their teeth. Thankfully, for everybody involved, it was the latter. The fire was slowly coming under control. The inferno was dying. Air quality checks carried out on the 7th and 8th of February reported an increase in volatile organic compounds, but they remained below the acceptable screening level, and water checks carried out by the Ohio EPA were deemed safe. The evacuation order for East Palestine was lifted on the 8th of February. Mayor Conway wasn't pleased with the decision and believed it was linked with the railroad's decision no trains would pass along the tracks until the residents returned. And so, just 4 days after hell descended on this small city on the Pennsylvania-Ohio border, residents returned and life resumed. But of course, it wasn't that easy. You can't have such a massive, high-profile accident involving toxic chemicals and simply sweep it under the carpet afterward. Almost as soon as residents began returning, anger erupted. One of the most pressing concerns in the wake of the derailment was the perceived lack of transparency regarding environmental monitoring and the dissemination of information. Residents voiced their fears about water and air safety, feeling left in the dark about the potential long-term implications of the released hazardous materials. Despite reassurances from authorities and the implementation of monitoring protocols, skepticism persists, fueled by a lack of consistent, clear communication, leaving the community to wonder about the true extent of the contamination and the possible exposure to toxic chemicals. Independent tests often revealed very different findings compared with governmental agencies. Texas A&M and Carnegie Mellon University both visited the site in February, and their tests indicated chemical levels, including vinyl chloride, in the air that was above long-term exposure limits. A team from Purdue University visited between the 25th and 27th of February and collaborated with residents and a community group to test the drinking water as well as water from 2 creeks nearby. Their findings were stark, with an acute health risk to humans posed by the heavily contaminated creeks. A few days later, the EPA formally advised residents to stay away from these creeks. The problem with events like this is that it can often take years for the true health implications to reveal themselves. But there have already been countless cases of mysterious symptoms in and around East Palestine, reports of unexplained illnesses, symptoms consistent with chemical exposure, and a general sense of unease hang heavy over the local community. Individuals have reported respiratory issues, skin irritations, and various other health concerns, attributing them to the aftermath of the derailment. The correlation between these health problems and the derailment, while seemingly quite obvious, has been difficult to prove conclusively, further compounding the community's anxiety and mistrust. Even researchers from the Centers for Disease Control, who investigated the derailment in early March, experienced contamination symptoms. The environmental impact of the derailment is perhaps the most visibly horrifying aspect, with extensive damage to the local ecosystem and wildlife. The EPA now estimates that the derailment potentially killed more than 43,000 fish, crustaceans, amphibians, and other marine animals, but the details of land animals are far from clear. The EPA has said that no deaths or harm to land creatures occurred, but various residents as far as 16 kilometers or 10 miles from the crash site reported their pets dying suddenly on the night of the vinyl chloride burn. Environmentalists and local residents alike have raised questions about the adequacy of the cleanup efforts and the long-term strategies to restore the affected ecosystems. The fear is that the full environmental toll may not be realized for years, leaving a once thriving natural landscape irrevocably altered. Now, no major event these days seems to escape the misinformation or conspiracy theory.
All right. Let me rewind this a little bit. Okay, a little more. There we go. Wow, that looks like the Delta smelt in California, right? So fuck the little itty bitty fishies in Ohio, but let California fucking burn. That was the Biden policy. That's what you fucking idiot Democrats fucking voted for. Your vote matters, people. Your vote matters. And you know what? This isn't Fox News. This isn't some right-wing news outlet. This is PBS, motherfucker. The public broadcasting system. So, yeah! Anyways, let's get back to the rest of this shit.
Now, no major event these days seems to escape the misinformation or conspiracy theory spin, and the East Palestine train derailment is absolutely no different. One prominent aspect of the misinformation that swirled around the East Palestine incident involved exaggerated claims about the toxicity of the chemicals involved. While it's undeniable that hazardous...
Now, whenever you see a guy talking about misinformation, okay, that's when you really need to pay attention to what he calls misinformation. because a lot of us conspiracy guys have been proven to be absolutely right. So here we go.
Materials were released. Some social media posts and fringe news outlets amplified these concerns to apocalyptic proportions.
Okay, if you're going to label a news outlet fringe in order to maintain your credibility, I think you should drop the news outlet and what they reported.
Suggesting immediate and catastrophic health impacts that went far beyond the assessments of environmental health experts. Alternately, there was the downplaying of the incident by certain groups, claiming that the environmental and health risks were being exaggerated by the media or other entities for various reasons. The counter-narrative sought to minimize the severity of the derailment's consequences, leading to confusion about the actual risk.
Big money never wants you to know what really happened. And believe me, after this happened, man, the special interest started writing checks like Biden giving out pardons in the last 10 minutes of his presidency. Here we go.
And the necessary precautions that the community needed to undertake. The situation was further complicated by the politicization of the derailment, with various figures and commentators using the incident to advance their agendas. This often involved cherry-picking facts, endorsing unverified claims, or outright spreading falsehoods, which only added to the public's confusion and anxiety. As the derailment became a topic of national debate, the lines between fact and fiction, legitimate concern and unfounded speculation, became increasingly blurred. One of the more outlandish theories.
Attention retirees, if you're willing to be at your computer from 9 a.m. to 10:45 a.m. on most weekdays, I can show you one simple trade that could potentially bankroll your retirement. Hi, I'm David Kino.
Related to the high-altitude objects that started appearing above the US in late January and throughout February. These were eventually described as Chinese surveillance balloons, but their appearance around the time of the train derailment led some to question whether the US government had faked the high-altitude objects to distract from the derailment.
The
fact that some of these balloons had actually appeared before the derailment.
The Chinese spy balloons had nothing to fucking do with this. Why this is in the fucking report, I don't know. Maybe a little bit of deflection, you know? Maybe the railroad company donated a bunch of money to the BBC, which is aired by the PBS here in America, right? Maybe, but let's watch it.
Didn't seem to register for these people. Preliminary investigations by the National Transportation Safety Board, the NTSB, indicated that a mechanical issue with a railcar axle might have caused the incident, which led to the accusation of poor management.
Federally
Norfolk Southern
regulated.
was accused of prioritizing $10 billion of stock buybacks for shareholders instead of maintenance. Things got worse for them when it emerged that Norfolk Southern had supported President Trump's 2017 overturning of the Obama administration requirement for electronically controlled pneumatic or ECP brake technology, which can improve both.
Blame Trump. Blame Trump. Trump wasn't president. And if Booty Love was such a genius, why didn't he discover that? I mean, he was qualified to be transportation secretary, wasn't he? Just saying, blame Trump. More deflection. First, Chinese balloons. Fuck, I can't stand this shit no more. I can't stand this shit no more. Fucking, we ain't watching that no more. Wow. Wow, but you get what I'm saying, right? So much going on. And like I said, look, if you're going to watch my stream, I really don't. I just want you to get educated. Educate a little bit. When I put that fair use policy up, I fucking mean it. But I got to do this for a friend of mine. So this cat here, worked with him. He's actually been my boss on jobs. I might have been his once or twice. Good guy, bearded bastard. Want to share a little bit of his talent with you. Take a little break. Take a little break, you know, and let you all enjoy some talent. This guy's really talented. So, yeah, and then when we come back, I want to talk about Hawaii. You know, kind of keeping this a little bit, you know, issue-based. A lot of people are going to watch it afterwards, which I hope. But anyways, share screen. Ba-dow. And you can see his, the description in there. The link to his channel is there. And it's not long. It's just about a minute. Real talented guy. And if you guys subscribe to him, I would be really grateful. Really grateful. He always has something good to say every morning. So you see him right there and you see it in the chat. That's the link. Feel free to take it. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Bearded Bastard. How about that?
Always a big shout out to Rennie Beats. You there, brother?
Hey, Rennie Beats, that people ride. When I hear it, yes, I hate that beat alive. I've been thinking about it cause my day is done. Your day's not, son. I wake up every damn day, kiss my wife, jump up in the Chevrolet. Then I go to the store, grab a can of fucking Skol, put the fucking top on and in my pocket it goes. Yeah, I gotta make it back to get the Ford company truck. Yes, I guess they just bored. They don't buy the shit that we need, they just buy to get by. And I'm in this shit, it's like I'm motherfucking dotting my eye, boy. It's a struggle in this world. Bills getting so high, it's like your baby girl gotta go to work to help you pay these motherfucking bills. You know I'm fucking lying, cause my kids will never pay these bills. I'm a leave it to them, yes, cash free. All the shit that I did when I'm gone is there, see. I've been working on the struggle in the hell, and I'm gonna get this motherfucker before I'm heaven sent. Yeah, my rent is always in the pocket, cause I got these motherfuckers like my little bottle rocket, popping off and letting all these motherfuckers see that when I'm on this fucking mic, it's like I'm representing MOB. This is where I fucking stay, and I'm real. Telling all you other motherfuckers, fuck some steel. Do it with the words, bitch, and be fucking real. I ain't worried about it, bitch, and how you fucking feel.
And that's my buddy, the Bearded Bastard, man. And shout out to him. And of course, I'll share the video on the channel so y'all can sub him up. But, let me remove that. And yeah, there's the link there to him. Go ahead and sub him up. So, got 5 people, 5, 2, 3, 20. I don't know how many people I got watching. I don't care. I don't care. What about Hawaii? What about Hawaii, right? Fires, right? Man, it's like, there it is, Hawaii fire. Let's see what Google brings up. All right, so, of course, we never seem to learn, right? We'll go to another liberal news outlet because, you know, I don't want people to say, oh, Avon, you just show Fox News. No. So let me, stop and got to push my buttons. I wish I had somebody do my production for me. It would be so much better, but it's just me. So here we go, and boom, Maui's deadliest fires. Check this shit out, people. Check this shit out. Okay, here we go. And play.
This morning, heartbreak, confusion, and lack of communication. Days after massive wildfires destroyed the heart of Western Maui, the desperate search for loved ones, with hundreds still unaccounted for. This stunning drone video showing rows of torched vehicles, now twisted husks, frozen in time.
So many people have died. My friends lost their grandparents in the fires. People are being found in their cars.
In Lahaina, the town most devastated by the wildfire, a point of no return. Residents like Leslie Clark left with nothing.
The whole thing is gone.
Anguished residents stuck in miles-long traffic jams trying to recover what's left of their homes.
I want this area cleared just in case I have an emergency, all right?
What you're seeing is the road to Lahaina. Some people have been waiting in this line for more than 15 hours to get access to their homes. I can tell you the mood is tense. People have been sleeping in their cars. They want answers.
After letting people through for 90 minutes Saturday, Maui police abruptly shutting down this entrance, leaving many drivers furious.
How are people supposed to get there if the damn roads are closed?
Some attempting to get crucial medication to those who need it the most, like Nurse Sherry Palomba, pushing to help those suffering from diabetes.
Would you say that medication for people is the greatest need right now?
If people can't get their insulin, they're going to die.
For survivors,
you're going to be okay, Milo.
Harrowing stories of escape.
Both sides, to the left and the right, are on fire.
19-year-old Noah Tompkinson, his mother and younger brother, diving into the ocean to escape the flames.
We kind of had it in the back of our mind the whole time that we wanted to be next to the water.
And now new questions over the emergency response to the fires. NBC News learning warning sirens were never activated, according to Hawaii emergency officials. And while phone, television, and radio alerts were, the governor says telecommunications were knocked out by the fire.
There was no emergency system, and most people, their phones were gone before they could get it.
Many have said they didn't receive any warnings. The state attorney general now opening an investigation into the response. Amid the rush, the only two escape routes out of Lahaina along the coast were backed up.
The remains we're finding is through a fire that melted metal. We have to do rapid DNA to identify them.
Some of those who died were trapped in their cars. With fears this morning, there are many more.
And back to that investigation, a Maui communications director recently told the local news outlet that neither the Maui fire chief nor a top emergency management official were on the island as the fires were already breaking out. We've reached out for comment. We haven't heard back yet. Callie?
Steve, thank you.
Hey, thanks.
Man, they weren't even there. And of course, not available for comment. When you have a natural disaster and the leaders you voted for aren't there, not really good leaders, are they? See a pattern here, people? Do you see a fucking pattern? I mean, it took Pete Buttigieg quite a bit to get to Palestine, Ohio. And then Joe Biden went to Hawaii. Well, he didn't even know he was there. So the moral of the story is you get what you vote for. You get what you vote for. If you're voting for somebody that has their little pet cause, right? Be wary. I don't care what party they're with. When you vote for somebody, you want somebody that wants to make your city, your state, your county, your country, your life better. And we've forgotten that in this country. We've forgotten that. Now it's Team Red or Team Blue and rah, 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 I hate you. It's not how we do it. It's not how we move forward. No, it's not. I mean, shit, it is what it is. So, not a long show today. I just wanted to talk about what's on my fucking mind. What I'm seeing from where I'm at. That's how I'm looking at it. Anyways. That's about it. That's about it. Me on here for an hour and a half bitching about disasters, lack of help to the people. Bureaucrats don't give a fuck about you. Right? They don't. One thing this should teach everybody is you have to be able to take care of yourself in case of a disaster. Do you have enough food? Do you have enough drinking water? You got a chainsaw to clear shit out. Here in Mobile, Alabama, it fucking snowed. I had the only snow shovel in Mobile, I think. But I had enough food, enough water, whatever. My wife and I, we've been basically hunkered down all week. I'm glad we were prepared. All of you, especially if you're in a blue state, be prepared. The police and the fire department won't come help you for whatever fucking reason. For whatever reason. Remember, you get what you vote for. You get what you vote for. Right? Oh, wait a minute before I go. No, I ain't going yet. Fuck that. Oh, let me look this up. I got to look something up here. Oh, no. I want to look something up. There we go. Okay, people. Okay. I got to play this for you. And this is out of Sky News, Australia. I really like Sky News. They're pretty damn good. They report better what's going on here than we do, than our media does. But oh, you got to see this shit. You got to see this shit. What's up, user? Good to see you. You got to see this shit. Okay, because this is... Okay. One of the reasons LA is so fucked. Okay? And let's be honest, it's fucked. Watch this.
In Los Angeles. And we've been speaking about incompetence, but have a look at this. The diversity head of the fire department, Christine Larson, has come under fire for these recently resurfaced comments.
Is she strong enough to do this? Or you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire, which my response is, he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire.
Oh, God. Let's bring in to discuss Adani Media's Lisa Goddard. Let's return now to the devastating fires in Los Angeles.
Look at this fucking bull dyke.
Incompetence, but
look at this shit.
The diversity head of the fire department, Christine, surfaced comments.
Okay.
Is she strong enough to do this? Or you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire, which my response is, he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire.
Did you hear that? Did you see that? Look at this bull dyke trying to look like a man, act like a man. But when the rubber meets the road, your wifey and your kitties and you and your dog, you're all gonna fucking burn to death because this fucking bitch can't pick you up. Wow. This is the ugly dyke right here, you know? My God. Why in the fuck? How the hell? If this bitch can't carry a grown man as big as it is, why is it a fire person? Would you trust this to come and save your ass? Fuck no. You're already dead. Welcome aboard, user. Good to see you, man. I mean, no shit. Well, if you're just too heavy for me to pick up, maybe you shouldn't be there. Woo! Way to go, Democrats! Way to go! Let's do this again. Shit. Oh, yeah, but it doesn't matter who you vote for, right? It doesn't matter.
Is she strong enough to do this? Or you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire, which my response is, he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire.
That's his fucking... That's your job, you stupid dyke! You want equal rights? You want equal shit? I'm all for that. But because you cannot carry a grown-ass man out of a fire, Miss Larson, You should not be in the fire department unless you're working fucking dispatch. That's where I'm at with that. That's where I'm at with that. You behemoth, to quote user. Right? I mean, oh, no. It gets worse. Okay. Let's go to CBS.
And has that effort at diversity been over your efforts in order to fight these fires? Because that's been the criticism. You know it's out there. Absolutely not.
Flashback. You want to see somebody that responds to your house emergency, whether it's a medical call or a fire call, that looks like you. It gives that person a little bit more ease.
Okay, I don't give a fuck what somebody looks like if they're saving my life, my neighbor's life, my family's lives, my pet's life. If you're saving life, I don't give a fuck what you look like. Just be able to do it, right?
Ease, knowing that somebody might understand their situation better. Is she strong enough to do this?
Okay, you're going to die. That's all that needs to be understood. You're going to fucking die. You don't care what a person looks like. This moron is making hundreds of $1,000s a year for being this fucking stupid and that fucking ugly and that unable.
Or you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire, which my response is he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire.
Nah, bitch, you're in the wrong profession if you can't carry him out of a fire, because you are supposed to. You have to carry somebody out of a motherfucking fire. That's like being a fireman 101, but wait a minute, you ain't no man.
So today we're going to look at the political fallout from the LA fires and who's to blame.
Now, before I go on, everybody, let me share the link to this. Okay, because Nate the lawyer is pretty cool, and I like Nate a lot. And I'm subscribed to him, so copy. And he did a lot of good editing. And I'm using this under fair use. And Nate. Yeah, I want to put you on here because I want people informed. All right. So link to this video, popping it there, and paste, and boom. And I'm going to get it on the screen so I don't get a bunch of shit from YouTube, but you will like this. Okay, so there we go. And you see it in the Facebook and whatever chats. So let's get back to it. And I'm going to kick myself out and play it.
This is Kristen Crowley, the first woman to become chief of the Los Angeles Fire Department.
Our next guest has shattered a big glass ceiling here in Los Angeles. A couple weeks ago, on the first day of Women's History Month, she was named the city's first female fire chief. Say that 5 times fast. And that's not the only barrier she broke through, y'all. She's also the department's first openly gay leader as well. So let's welcome and congratulate soon-to-be Los Angeles Fire Chief Kristen Crowley. Oh, thank you.
Yay! 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 Yay, you dyke! Yay! Surprise! Yay! Not qualified at all.
Serve as the chief of this fire department and the first woman to ever be in that position.
Oh, boy.
I mean, I understand, you know, the significance, of the historical significance of what this is. A first is a first, right? And so I understand that. But the amount of media and even the outpour of support. I knew I had support, but wow, I am so pleasantly surprised.
Now, with the new chief in place, the department wanted to diversify as much as possible. And that was one of the chief's main focuses in her first year. Here is the chief explaining it.
And for the first time in history of the department, she is a woman. Kristen Crowley will lead the nation's third largest firefighting force in our second biggest city as a push for diversity continues in a male-dominated field.
I'm super inspired.
She took time out of her already busy schedule to tell us about her vision for the department's future, one that includes a 3-year strategic plan to increase diversity.
People ask me, well, what number are you looking for? I say, I'm not looking for a number. It's never enough.
Out of 3,300 city firefighters, only 115 are women right now. She's already looking at ways to change that. She's quick to point out that doing so has a greater purpose, attracting the best and brightest for the job.
They feel included, they feel valued, and they feel part of a cohesive team.
The chief also checks another box when it comes to inclusivity and
let's
diversity
check
at this
boxes
department.
instead of saying
She's a
why.
proud member of the LGBTQ community.
So now DEI was in full effect in LA County. They didn't want to hire any more white male firefighters. They wanted them to be more diverse. So they started doing things to discourage white applicants. Here is comedian Adam Carolla talking about his experience when he applied as a white cisgender male.
Geez, I want to talk about my white privilege so badly. I graduated North Hollywood High with a 1.7 GPA. I could not find a job. I walked to a fire station in North Hollywood. I was 19. I was living in the garage of my family home. My mom was on welfare and food stamps. And I said, can I get a job as a fireman? And they said, no, because you're not Black, Hispanic, or a woman. We'll see in about 7 years. And I went to a construction site and dug ditches and picked up garbage for the next 7 years. I got a letter in the mail sent to my father's house saying, your time has come to do the written exam for the LA Fire Department. I took it and I was standing in line and I had a young woman of color standing behind me in line. And I said, just out of curiosity, when did you sign up to become a fireman? Because I did it, or a person, 7 years ago. And she said, Wednesday. That is an example of my white privilege.
So now this led to an uncomfortable reality that they had a lot less firefighters in LA County. So this led to a shortage of firefighters, but the city wasn't done. They decided to cut the fire budget because, hey, if we don't have people applying for the job, why do we need so many firefighters? Here's the chief begging the city not to cut fire services.
Fire department needs to be properly funded, and it's not. It's not at this point, and we've got the justification. We know where our gaps in service are. We know we need 62 new fire stations. We need to double the size of our firefighters. The growth of this city since 1960 has doubled, and we have less fire stations.
Let's repeat that, because those numbers are a little jarring. 20 years ago, you had more fire stations than you have now?
We had 112 fire stations. Now we have 106. And since 2010, we've had an increase, doubled our call volume, which is firefighters responding to calls, 55% increase with 68 less firefighters.
So the city funding is not keeping up with the city's needs in real time.
No, and that's what our firefighters need. Since day one, this is my third budget as we're going into 25-26. What I can tell you is we are still understaffed, we're still under-resourced, and we're still underfunded. So with that, whether it's 7 million, 10 million.
But was the budget cut?
Yes, it was cut.
In December, you wrote that memo. You said that these budget cuts were going to severely affect your department, from everything from brush clearance checks to make sure homeowners were doing what they needed to do, to fire hydrant checks. And yet you heard the mayor just yesterday say, no, those cuts did not affect the ability to serve and would not have changed anything in this situation. What is going through your mind? And I know this is difficult. There are a lot of politics at play. You are not a politician. You are the woman responsible for all these men and women at LA City Fire and for our residents in the city of Los Angeles. When you hear the mayor say it didn't affect anything at all, what is going through your head? If you can share that with us.
Sure. So just full transparency. Again, my position is to make sure that our people get what they need to do their jobs, and also, mind you, that they get to go home to their families.
Okay, so let's get to the details of what actually happened. See, the LA County Fire Department budget was cut by $17.6 million, about 2% for the 2024-2025 fiscal year. Now, because of these budget cuts, some of the preventative measures that the LA Fire Department did, they couldn't do anymore.
About $17 million in budget cuts for this year alone. Has that impeded your firefight?
It has. And the reality with any type of budget cut, it absolutely hampered our ability to provide service on a day-to-day basis, let alone on something historical like the multiple fires that have negatively impacted our communities. It absolutely hampered us.
You've been asking for years for more money. And what is the city or the mayor said in response?
So first and foremost, as I take a big step back, I've got the honor and privilege to represent the amazing men and women of our organization. My job is to make sure that our firefighters have what they need, tools, equipment, training, so that we can serve the community, period. So since day one, we've been fighting for, I stepped up, my team stepped up, we've identified gaps in our service. So for 3 years now, I've been ringing the alarm and saying the fire department does not have enough resources, and it's validated across the board. Our firefighters are doing everything they can do with what they've got. It's not enough. We've had a 55% increase in overall call volume since 2010, and we're doing it with 68 less people. We can't do it anymore, and it's time for me to step up. I'm not a politician. I'm a public servant like every other firefighter in the LAFD. It's my job to make sure that we step up and we do what we need to do and get them what they need. We need to be funded.
It must be very difficult to be in your position and sound the alarm. It's not an easy thing to do.
It's not easy, but it's the right thing to do. And that is why, again, I'm in the seat at this very moment. And look back 3 years. This is not a new issue that I have raised. We have document after document after document that justifies that the fire department is under-resourced, underfunded, and understaffed. So we're at this pivot point. So that is the position that I am going to take and I continue to take for 3 years. We are at that breaking point, and the firefighters, as you know, are absolutely amazing, but it's not sustainable. It is time to make sure that our firefighters get what they need in regard to the tools and the training. So they
She gonna fucking cry?
Well, speaking
Look
of
at
the
this.
training equipment, one thing
She
that's
gonna cry?
crazy when I heard is you have
gonna
tons
cry?
of things not even being used.
This
just
is what
because
you
can't
get
pay mechanics
when you
to fix
let
it.
a bunch of idiot women to run your fucking city because they're women and they want to kill babies and they want to be a lot of puss.
So
This is
we
what
have
you
an
get out.
underfunded fire department with a lot less people who are trying to go diverse but can't hire enough firefighters. Then their budget is slashed, and then on top of all that madness, the fire hydrants that's supposed to have water for you to fight fires happen to be empty during the worst fire in the city's history. Here is Gavin Newsom trying to figure it out.
Governor Gavin Newsom is also facing questions over the response. On Friday, he ordered an investigation into why a 117 million gallon reservoir in the Pacific Palisades was out of service and the loss of water pressure to some fire hydrants, calling it deeply troubling.
Why was there no water in the hydrants, Governor?
That's all literally.
Is it going to be different next time?
It has to be.
I would fill up the hydrants myself.
I understand.
But would you do that?
I would do whatever I can.
But you're not.
For the moment, Mayor Bass wants to stay focused on the fires.
When the fires are out, make no mistake, we will have a full accounting of what worked and especially what did not.
So this story seems to have a lot of incompetence to go around. You have no water in the fire hydrants. You got issues with hiring enough firefighters. You want to go DEI, but then that's at the expense of having a fully staffed fire department. Then you have budget cuts, and they cut preventative services that leads to wildfires not being taken care of before they get out of hand. Now, all of this madness seems to come down to one thing. It's mismanagement, and you got to call a spade a spade. Democratic governor, Democratic legislature, Democratic local leadership, they have to hang this on their head. And really think about this, people. There are less firefighters in LA today with twice the population than there was 20 or 30 years ago. This makes absolutely no sense. But tell me where I'm wrong in the comments. As always, my name is Nate the Lawyer, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
With Asana,
Yeah, I
AI
love Nate
teammates.
the Lawyer, great dude. Great dude. And you know what, man? This, if you, me, okay, now that I live in Mobile, Alabama now, I'm a California escapee, right? My mother's family, one of the oldest families in Stockton, California. One of the oldest ones. You think this is the first time this has happened in recent memory? Recent memory? No. No. And the Democrats were running the show when this happened. When this happened a few years ago. Oh, I mistyped there. I got to type it right. Hold on. Back in 2018, right? Back in 2018, the campfire. Y'all remember that? The campfire? Huh? Do you? Paradise, California, using this under fair use. So YouTube don't take it down. Fair use. Using this to educate. Okay, now let me give you a little Paradise, California. I knew a few people from there. A guy named Floyd that I apprenticed under for a while. His brother Joe, who I apprenticed under for a while. Okay. They live in Paradise. Country people love it. They loved living there. They got burned out. When I drove truck for Safeway, I deliver the Paradise Safeway. Great people up in Paradise. Great place to go back in the day. Right? But there's one thing, the Sierra Club in California. Got their nose and everything. And if you drive to Paradise, at least when I drive the truck to Paradise, you could see the land all around you not being taken care of, overgrown, brush, tinderbox. And the fire going uphill to Paradise. Uphill. Running like crazy, right? We've been talking about this. We were talking about this in California for years, decades. But we get these liberal fucking governors and these liberal politicians and all these fucking environmental motherfuckers and these do-gooders doing their do-gooder shit with their good intentions, proving the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Right? Now, let's watch this together. Because this here is 2018. Same kind of shit. Except it's in Northern California, just east of Chico, California, where Brandon Rogers is from. Yeah, this is fucking sad, people. This is fucking sad. Okay? Here we go. Check this out. I've seen these clips. I've seen this view. I've been there, right? You think people would have learned. You think so, but nah. Remember, you get what you vote for.
Nestled in Northern California's Sierra Nevada foothills, a small town revival is slowly taking shape. A community rising from the ashes, ushering in a return to paradise. It's been 5 years since the 2018 Camp Fire, the deadliest and most destructive wildfire in California history. Nearly 20,000 structures gone, 85 people dead. Paradise nearly purged off the map.
It was like our old life, or our life had been ripped away from us.
The Frenzel family barely escaped, fleeing the flames that consumed their home, rushing to safety with their daughter Marin, then just 18 months old.
Home is your safety spot, right? That's where you feel safe, or should feel safe anyways, and be cozy, and all of that coziness of our life, that kind of like warm feeling is just ripped away.
It's a shared trauma here. Most evacuees moved away after the fire and never returned. Of the more than 26,000 residents that called Paradise home before the fire, 5 years later, the town is now home to just a little over 9,000. But it's movement in the right direction, as signs of rebirth have emerged.
We're really proud of the progress that we have made and where we are today.
For the last half-decade, Town Recovery and Economic Director Colette Curtis is leading the charge to make Paradise a place to come back to.
We have generations of families that have lived here. And so for those people, coming back home was really important. So we had a very strong, immediate rush of our residents wanting to come back home, wanting to rebuild, pulling permits. And we did absolutely everything we could to make that process simple for them.
And in a region prone to fire, community leaders are taking on an even taller challenge, finding ways to make town feel safe again.
We live in a high fire severity zone. That is the reality. And so we have long practiced evacuations with our community. We're we put a lot of effort into communicating with our residents about evacuations and what they need to know.
Once again, you get what you vote for. You get what you vote for. Right? You get what you vote for. What's up, Sports Critic? Good to see you, man. Welcome to the chat. You got what you fucking vote for. You vote for these fucking clowns based on anything other than merit and their ability, you get what you fucking vote for. Voting for somebody based on color is stupid. Voting for somebody based on what they do with their private parts is stupid. Don't care what you look like. Don't care who you fuck. If you're able to do the job, fine. But if you're not, who you fuck and what color you are doesn't make you qualified. That's the problem with DEI, affirmative action, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's bullshit. Now California's paying the price. Right? East Palestine, Ohio, definitely paying the price because Pete Buttigieg wasn't put there because he was qualified. He was made Secretary of Transportation because he's married to a man. That's why. Check another fucking box. Elections have consequences. They have consequences. Right? Pay attention, people. Pay attention. Now, I know a lot of you might not like how I'm taking the channel, and that's fine. I don't care. I don't care. Hopefully, I can educate somebody, help somebody out to open their fucking eyes. It's not about red or blue, Democrat, Republican. It's about where you live in our country. Okay? Measure someone's accomplishments by their results. What's it say in the Bible? You know, judge a tree by the fruit it bears or whatever. Right? What kind of fruit are these people bearing for you? When you got a big lesbian making like $250K or more a year saying she ain't going to drag your ass out of a fire, what the fuck's she there for? Huh? Jesus. Thank God Trump won. I got my Let's Go Brandon hat on. Thank God he won. Imagine how fucked we'd be right now had he not won. Imagine how fucked LA would be. LA, you're going to get the help. But whatever we do, whatever you do, Mr. President, don't give those fucking LA politicians a dime. Get the federal government in there, rocking and rolling, seize reservoirs, take control of California's water, put it under federal fucking control. Send the military in if you have to. Make that farmland green again. Fuck that smelt. Get LA the water it needs. Okay? Help out the people. And when we're rebuilding LA, when we're rebuilding Western North Carolina, when we're rebuilding all this shit, do it with Americans, not illegal aliens. Do it with Americans. You youngsters watching this, and I'm talking people in the 30s and under, need to quit jacking off in your mom's fucking basement. Wanting to design video games and shit, go get in the fucking trades. Learn a fucking skill. We got to rebuild this country. We got to rebuild this country. Doesn't matter what you want to do with your private parts. Doesn't matter what fucking color you are. If you are an American and you are young, get in the trades and make some damn money. A good tradesman usually makes a hell of a lot more than some useless degree from some fucking woke college. Believe what you see. Don't believe what they tell you. Believe what you see. Okay? Easiest way to know a politician's lying, their fucking lips are moving. Anyways, 2 hours is enough of this shit for me. It's enough. Normally I go 3, but I'm just so emotional over this stuff. You get what you vote for. Remember that. Your mayor, your alderman, or your city councilman, they have a profound effect on your life. Your county supervisors, a profound effect on your life. It ain't just the people you see on the national news. You need to know who these people are, so you can hold them accountable. You need to pay attention to what these people do. Your state senator, your state assemblyman, you need to know who they are. Your lieutenant governor, your governor, you need to know who they are. Any elected position in your state, and one of the problems with California is every fucking different fucking department in the state has its own elected fucking corrupt piece of shit. Okay? We need voter ID. We need to get the fraud out of our fucking elections. We do. Because who you vote for matters. Pay attention to the people they appoint and they fucking hire. Right? Do you want some woman that won't carry you out of a fire as a fireman coming to your house to leave you to die because they can't carry you out? Common sense, people. Common fucking sense. Anyways, I am the A-Bomb. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Boom! I'm out.